Hey, folks. All right, we're recording. I'm Amazing Vito, and hopefully we don't freeze up again and I lose. Whoa, that's probably why we froze up. Um, I'm talking to the one and only Miss Kimmie Kaboom, uh,
Hello.
multiple world champion. Well, you are. I mean, it's the awards, right? I mean,
Yeah,
you won.
I won a handful of them, and I appreciate all of them. I have a good fan support system who really look out for me when it comes to the award season and nominations and voting. And um, I'm sure anybody that's on social media knows when that time hits because they're being inundated with girls saying, vote for me," So they're pretty good about taking care of me.
And real quick, I want to say hi to Darrell. He's back there. That's rude,
My
me not.
favorite penis.
Yeah, there is the stunt penis. Um, real quick, I did an interview with Darrell where he got. I couldn't believe the amount of hits he got just from people watching, and I was like, really, him? But they love him. They actually love the guy. So way to go, Darrell. Keep up the great work. You know. Uh, there he is, sitting there making sure I don't do anything. And Kimmy's going to surprise us. What are you going to do, Kimmy? At the
I thought that the least I could do is give y'all a nice good booby flash.
Oh, you can't do that. That you
I
can't.
can do a lot of things. I
Well,
mean, I'm just saying.
well,
I actually took a boob. I mean, I have a folder on my website where it's like tits across America, where I've done public flashing, like in the middle of the Las Vegas sign and in front of the Statue of Liberty,
State signs.
state
well,
signs.
folks, you heard it here. You stick around at the end of the show, you could get a surprise. So
That's right. Oh shit.
I don't know how. We'll get around it, but
Yeah,
trust me, it'll be quite the experience.
we'll make something happen.
So, um, how has your uh, year been so far?
2020 was a shit show. It was a dumpster fire, and I'm saying that because I'm looking at a dumpster. Um, but it was, you know what? It was really, we're so used to traveling every month, which I'm sure a lot of people in the industry were. But yeah, it's so funny to me because, people have been trying to shut down the adult industry, and all it took was COVID, um, you know, to literally shut down everything.
What do you what do you,
But
what do you sorry, what do you mean they were trying to shut you guys down?
no, not specifically, but there's so many people that are anti-adult industry. Um, so much censorship, and it just there's a lot of companies that aren't adult friendly, obviously. Um,
Have picketers at the last AVN.
yeah, people who picket the shows and stuff, whatever. But at first it was just it was just that a sudden, it was almost like somebody threw the emergency brake on, when you're going and going and going, it's like, whoa. All right, you have to get your footing, and you just had to get a little bit more creative. I have a website. Fortunately for us, when we go to AVN in Vegas every year. Not this year, obviously, but we filmed like 2 weeks of content. Um, uh, we were filmed for 2 weeks, which gave us months of content. So fortunately, there was no one who missed a beat on my website. There was always updates there. And now we just have to get a little bit more creative with it. Whereas normally we would film while we're on these trips. Now we just kind of go do like weekend trips to like a hotel somewhere, or just have a different background and film content. I found that there was so much creativity amongst the entertainers, though, because of this. It forced us to be more creative and figure out how to work our businesses without the fan interaction conventions and those kind of things.
Right.
So you just had
So
to get a little bit more creative with it.
so are you still producing movies?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. We haven't stopped that period. We've been on it.
So how does that work with COVID wise? Like, do they need to quarantine for 14 days or
Okay,
something?
okay. I'm sorry. I have been using Darrell as my partner, or I've been doing a lot of solo stuff.
Okay, okay.
So that's how I've been doing it. Now I know that the adult industry, like a lot of industries, like even the major motion picture organizations, they all took a pause when this all first came out. And now I know there's a lot of testing, extra testing involved. You know, adult industry is not they're not, we're not used to not doing testing. Obviously, we've done testing forever. When I'm filming with companies, I'm usually tested like every 7 days, that kind of thing. So it's not like we're not, you know, this isn't new to us. You're just adding a COVID test on top of it now.
Okay.
So there's a lot more precautions in place. For me, I have been mostly focused on my brand, Kimmie Kaboom, you know, my website. Darrell's been focused on his websites. So that's what we've been focusing on. As far as working with companies, I have not shot anything with a company in about a year. So another company other than ours. And because that's my way of kind of staying safe, or, you know,
Right.
minimizing my who I'm around.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it has. I remember, uh, it was really weird when it started in March in 2020 up here. I had to go do a show, and it was, I swear, it was just this weird. I remember talking to I had to meet the other comics at the show. It was two other guys. I know the one guy, but the other guy, I guess he's from the area. And we were out in the boonies over here. I had to go do a show out in the country. So, and just shows you what an awesome agent I have. Just, Vito, there's a farmer. The, the one guy wanted to pay me with check.
There's no sheets involved, but they're still a farmer.
No, but it was it was in a hall, but it was very, and I shouldn't say that. I got a great agent. He's a nice guy, Ed, a wonderful guy. He's trying his best. Um, but it's just a horrible time right now
Oh
for
yeah,
to
it's
book. So when I was there, you could sense the nervousness of the crowd. And in my act, I like to bring a couple people up and screw around with them.
mhm.
And it was very, you could tell I brought up a woman. Usually they're creeped out by me, but this was like a different vibe, where she was very like just scared. And
Mhm.
this was I remember the date, March 14th. So it was she just, and I had to get her off, and then I just did the rest of the show. Then I talked to the other comic and I said, yeah, man, I'm out of here. Like, it just, Kimmie, it just felt very,
Awkward?
very awkward. Didn't feel fun. Like, people were laughing. You're trying your best. Because before they opened up for a little bit, I was doing a couple shows. Um, and one guy said, I'm going to start off with a COVID joke. And I said, don't do that. Don't talk about it, because you're going to freak them out.
Right,
And the idiot did the joke, right? And he freaked them out.
right.
And I had three women just say, I gotta go. They left, you know, and I was like, that's just a stupid move. And we did all the precautions and everything. And I think you were only allowed 50 people, and that include the wait staff. And so, in other words, we really only had maybe less, I think 41 people
Mhm.
maximum,
Right,
and if you have to add the comics and everything. So it was very, you're not making any money.
right.
At the end of it, you're just going, guys, like, we should have 300 people here, and there's just the money's, that we just, it was awful.
Yeah.
So it's this feeling of I don't want to ask you how old you are, and I do that. You don't say anything, but the thing is, I've never experienced anything like this, where I cannot go visit my parents. I cannot my children can't, my parents can't see them. It's very hard on them. It's been a year. I'm getting very angry. When the anger builds up, when you're just going like, when you go shopping, I notice, like, I understand you got to wear your mask, but I kind of have these little panic attacks where I got to tell myself, just hurry up, grab your stuff, and get
That you
out.
shouldn't leave.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
it's really, and and so many of us are just social butterflies. We're so used to being with people. We're not
The
used,
interaction.
yeah, we're not used to the isolation. And I know it's been hard on a lot of people. Of course, you have some that are just they're perfectly okay with being at home and not being bothered by anybody. But then you have people who are so used to being out.
You have more keyboard warriors now because they're all stuck at home.
Yeah. Well, I've talked to, I did an interview where uh, the industry is booming for, uh, you do, like, if you just do it from home, uh, what was her name? Lexi. God, what was her name? God, I can't believe I forgot the woman's name. But she's telling me she's booming, and she doesn't do adult movies. She does, like, I don't know what they're called, but you pay to watch them at home, I guess.
Camming.
Camming, that's it, camming. So
Yeah,
she
yeah.
was
Oh
camming.
yeah. I mean, honestly, I would have to say that whereas maybe I'm not out traveling and doing films for companies, I'm making really good money at home. I mean, just my clip stores, my website, my OnlyFans, so like that kind of stuff, my fan centro, my AVN stars, all that's just, I mean, yeah,
That's
I'm
good.
doing good. It's
And
good.
and then how are you? I know you're very social, and you like to go out and meet, go to dinner, and how is that affecting uh your like, how is that affecting you?
Overall, I think, I do. Okay. Well, for a while, it impacted us a little differently because we had some family that lived north of us that actually came to us to kind of quarantine all together, and that became very interesting. Not that we don't love our family, but there's kind of a reason why we live far away from them. Um, and I joke and kid about that, but it's just everybody's here. So that really impacted my camming and my member shows because obviously, I mean, I'm not trying to be in my cam room while I have family next door,
Sure.
rubbing one out. Just saying. So it makes things a little awkward. So that kind of paused, and my phone, like my phone sex operator stuff, paused for a little bit. But everyone is now dispersed and went back home, and we have our home to ourselves again. So that's nice. But overall, I'm okay. I mean, I have Darrell. Darrell's my best friend. Um, you know, we do everything together. Like we're like two peas in a pod. We do it together. I mean, we miss our friends. We miss hanging out with friends. We miss getting, like I said, our biggest things that we miss is going to the conventions and meeting our fan base. We really do. I do miss that terribly. Because I appreciate everyone that supported me when I got into this industry and has continued to do so. I also miss our porn family, our adult family. When we go to these conventions, it's like a little family reunion every time, because we get to see everybody. So we've just had to be a little bit more creative and tech, like, I mean, I text people and check on them, and or video chat with people and check on them and see how they're doing. And I think that's very important. I think that we need to make sure that we're doing that. Um, uh, and then, you have some people, well, they have my number, they can call me. Well, get over yourself. If you get genuinely care, just give a shout out, see how they're doing, just checking in, just check in. Um, it's very important to do that. Um, because this is hard on a lot of people, especially some that are just not used to not being able to not go out. You know, I mean, we're older. I have no problem saying my age. I'm 49. I'll be 50 in April. Um, and I'm okay by myself, or I'm okay being out. You know, I can trust me. I have plenty of stuff to keep me busy. I mean, I'm between videos and clip stores and all this social media. I trust me. I have. There's always not enough hours in the day to get done with all my Kimmie Kaboom stuff. But yeah, so definitely, we just have to. You just have to approach. You had to approach it,
differently.
yeah, very differently. But just keep. But you do have to keep your mental faculties with you. And like I said, if you just staying in touch with people and checking in on people, I think is really really important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's important to. It's funny because I notice I'm talking to people from high school. Is that weird?
Mm.
Like people are just reaching out from high school. God, that which was for me was like 6 years ago. Because
Yeah,
I'm so young.
totally.
But no, people from like the '80s, mid '80s. They're like, hey, remember?
Best years ever. I'm sorry.
No, they'll go, hey, how are you? And it's so nice.
Right.
It sucks that you think about it after. When your mind starts thinking at night when
Hmm.
and you start thinking stuff like it sucks that to reach out to people, it took COVID
Right.
It
to
sucks
reach.
that COVID is the reason people are reaching out to you.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That's
and
what it's, yeah, that's what it's
and
saying.
and and to me, it's just like it shouldn't be that way. It should be holy crap. There we
But if
go.
COVID wasn't here, would they still reach out to you?
Yeah, would they? That's what I asked myself. Like, oh, if COVID wasn't there, but it's still. Hey, man,
Right.
I feel like I'm on Gilligan's Island. You know,
Right.
like,
Well, without overthinking it, you have to take it for however it came about. You have to take it with the good intentions that it is, and maybe it took a COVID or a pandemic to wake people the f up and make them realize life is too short, and make them realize that you should not be an a-hole and you should go check on people. And maybe that's you have to take, because if we over process and overthink everything, then obviously it's going to just it's going to blow our mind up. So you just got to push through with it. I know. And with all that being said, like even with social media, I found myself, because people are at home and they all have way too much effing time on their hands. um, they also forget how to be nice
oh
sometimes.
god, yeah, yeah,
And then they become, like Darrell was mentioning, keyboard warriors, or or they just want to be hating because they're in a pissy mood, or they're pissy because they're stuck in the house. And you know, for me, I try so hard to literally post my links to my content, or just post a picture to say, hey, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever. And then I just get off. I can't get caught up and consumed with who's pissed off at who this week, um, who hates that this week, or Jesus, don't get me started on politics this week. But I mean, it's like, and I'm
Well,
okay, and I'm literally okay with whatever anyone believes, as long as you're not breaking the law or harming children, or harming someone, like I said, breaking the law. I can agree to disagree with you. I'm okay. Girl, I can do that. If we may not believe the same thing, and that's okay.
yeah,
I still love you just the same. You know, and I think that we are forgetting about that.
yeah.
Uh,
That to me, it's just the younger or the older. I don't know who it is, but I notice people are very and yeah, Daryl's like keyboard warriors. Yeah, and I don't really like responding to anybody that doesn't have their real name. You
mhm,
know what I mean? Especially on
right.
social media, because it could be anybody, and they're just out to have.
Pick a fight.
Yeah, and to me, I'm like, I'm not into it, man.
Right.
I'm not like, people are like, do you read your comments? Half the time I don't, because if I do, it
Yeah.
could.
You just, and it's I positivity is being positive is positive. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think I made like a small video one time about being a twat waffle.
Being a
I'm
what?
like,
Pardon?
I made a small video one time because I got so tired of reading pissy comments from people talking ugly about people. Finally, I'm like, if you have nothing, I'm from the South, if you have nothing nice to say, just don't say nothing at all. Don't be a twat waffle. You
Right,
know,
right. Okay.
you don't have to be that way.
Yeah.
Just, I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Okay. But I know tea drinkers. If you don't, I'm okay with you not being okay with me. I'm okay with you. You don't like a bigger girl, fine. You don't like me in general, fine. I'm okay with that. I'm not gonna like everybody. Everybody's not gonna like me. But I think that's just the big problem we have. Oh God, it's like junior high and high school some days. You just that's why I personally have
Feels
to
like
step.
high school some days.
I have to step away from it because I can't get. I don't have time to get caught
Well,
up in all
well,
that.
you're being smart because the negativity, it does play on me. And that's why, I reach out to people that I enjoy talking to and I'm interested, and just to, I mean, again, life is too short.
Right.
I have no interest in, see, when I did the show 4 years ago, when I did the Wrecking Crew, my God, the arguments I would get. Yeah, and my rule was always, I don't want to have an argument.
Hmm.
I do not want to have an argument. I just want to have, this isn't a political thing. This has nothing to do about what you do for a living. This has nothing to
Hmm.
do with any of that. I just want to talk to you like if we were buddies. Okay? That's
Right. And I
all.
think, yeah, and I think that that's what, and then you have people who they will keep picking until they get that one response they're looking for, and then that one response will get magnified. And then now you have, oh well, this person's this way and this person's this way. I do think that we have lost sight of the fact that I don't think people have the right to their opinion anymore.
That's terrible. I
You've
know.
lost that. You're not allowed to say how you feel about something, and then because then you're an asshole. Then, if it's not the popular belief of our popular whatever it is that day, I could say I don't like pepperoni pizza. Well, oh my God, now I'm an asshole, because I don't like pepperoni pizza.
Yeah.
So, and I've did a disservice to pepperoni pizza everywhere now, so, but it just, I just feel that we've kind of lost our, some of our, uh,
Individuality.
yeah, we've really lost a lot of individuality. We've also lost a lot of our right to speak freely without being just totally hammered, for it.
Yeah, what I don't like is it's like a tribalism, and I understand that, you know humans, and I made this video. I'll send you a link to it and whatever. It was about just the way if alien species were to uh ever see humans, they would want nothing to do with us, because just the way we talk to each other, the way we treat the earth, the way, I mean, they would just sit there and go, you know what it would be like? It would be like, when you're driving along your car and you see a fender bender, that would be Earth, and you'd be in your
Mhm.
spaceship going, yeah, let's not
Yeah,
talk
we're
to,
good.
yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll call a tow truck and let them sort it out. Um, yeah, I really do not like this whole uh bashing of one particular group, uh, just because you don't think the way we think. And
Yeah,
what
and it's just, I mean, it's just we're not being very good human beings in general. Who was it? It was somebody, I can't think of who it was, but somebody posted something one time. It was about returning the shopping cart. When you're in the parking lot and you take your shopping cart out to your car, and when you empty it, what do you do with the shopping cart? You're not required to go take it to the little buggy cart, but do you?
Oh, I do all the time.
But I'm just saying, that was the, I can't think of who it was that said that. I want to say it was like a, um, a band member or something, 80s hair band member or something. But anyway, they wrote this whole thing about, returning the shopping cart that kind of says what kind of human being you are. I'm not saying, heaven forbid, return the shopping cart, but I find myself, I always return the shopping cart to the little cubby, and it's we're not required to. No one said there's a law you have to, but it just seems like the right thing to do.
Yeah, and
You know,
especially when everybody, I mean, the Walmart where I'm at, there's an older guy who you could tell he's mentally challenged,
hmm
and that's his job. And he walks with and it's heartbreaking, because he's out in the cold walking with, he's got a bum leg. I mean,
hmm
this guy just makes your eyes water, but he's out there working, you know, and I see people just throw their carts. They see him out there picking up the carts, and they think it's his job to do that.
right.
And I'm like, no,
Yeah,
his
it's not my job mentality.
yeah,
It's not
it's
my
kind of
thing.
just chuck it and
Oh, that and
I
they throw trash. People, I've seen areas where they're just trashed all over the place. They literally clean their car out in the parking lot. Just I don't
yeah,
understand.
my like because of the wind, my wife's car got nailed with a shopping cart, and it was at the time it was brand new, and I'll tell you how angry I was. I mean, who does that? Just leave it out there. The wind took it, smashed it into it, and people just
Don't
don't
care.
they don't care. And it's just if people are judgmental against you, and and I'm like, I always say, well, why don't you talk to that person? I've met people that they say are very respectful, and they have this mentality of they're important, and because they are in an important position, but they're assholes.
Mm,
Okay, but people still kiss their ass because they think they're going to get something out of it.
right,
Or I'm going to get this, I'm going to get if I kiss his or her ass, I'll get something out of it. And I'm like, that's a horrible way, because all you're doing is feeding into that person,
right,
right?
right. And nine times out of ten, that's not how it works.
If you keep kissing my ass and keep doing whatever I do, I take advantage of that.
Right.
And that's a wrong thing to do,
hmm
and it's just, you should stop and think. I tell people, stop and think who you deal with. Are they good? And my daughter, she's working now, and she complains about her boss, and she talks about what the boss does, and I go, you're young right now, but he's not being that much of a goof. He's
hmm
just telling you, and she understands, because she's a young, she's very young. So, um, but I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about,
Right.
right? So there are people out there that are just complete and utter horrible, and I don't. To me, I don't. Like, I just sit there and go, where the hell did we go wrong? I mean, I grew up in the '70s and '80s where if I liked you, and I'm a germaphobe, okay, you could drink out of my pop bottle,
Right.
okay? And now we get to this thing where if you're somebody's, they're dying of thirst, just walk right by them with your pop bottle.
Right.
And that is the wrong way to go.
hmm
As a society, we are de-evolving. That's the way I feel, and I think you should always give somebody, um, even if I don't agree with you, Kimmy, I should always just say, I don't agree with you, but we could still be buddies.
Yeah, agree to disagree. I mean, me and Daryl always agree on things, but we agree to disagree. It is what it is. You're talking about just being kind to people. It's like I was somewhere shopping or something, picking something up or something like that, and I saw a guy pushing a cart. Obviously, he was homeless. He looked cold. He looked hungry. He looked. you know, and I'm like, I'm trying to look around and see what do I have in my car I can give him, you know, like what can I, you know, and I always have like, I usually have a couple water bottles of water and I have like an emergency stash of food just in case. Don't, I mean, don't, you know, I always have an emergency pack for
Yeah,
some
me
reason.
too. Me
I don't know
too.
why, but I do.
I
I
do
have
too.
food, I have water, I have just because if something happens. And I have gift cards for different places to eat in case I always keep them in the car in case I can't. Well, let's say you left my purse one day or something. Hey, I got food. I can always eat, you know. So I found I think there was like a little Chick-fil-A card, and I found a bottle of water, and I found I had actually had a water packet, you know, flavored water packet, and I think a bag of chips. You know, and I went up to him and I'm like, hey, you know, excuse me, you know, I'm gonna throw this out if you don't want it. You want it, you know, because I don't want to feel like because he wasn't begging for anything either. But I also know that some people have a lot of pride; they don't want to ask for things. But you know, it's like, hey, you know, you know, I don't want this stuff anymore. I didn't know if maybe you wanted it. You know, this is like this will get you a sandwich, you know, if you want it, and you know, here's a bag of chips. Not much. It wasn't. It didn't affect me, but I just kind of believe in that will. You know, you know, if you're putting out some good, you're going to get some good back. You know, and you know, and that doesn't take a lot to do with
Oh,
people.
I could tell you when I was, I, you know, I don't know. I shouldn't say this. I got a bit about it, but this is what happened. Uh, my
You're
buddy
breaking
goes,
up.
or am I breaking up?
Yeah, you're breaking up.
Oh, darn it. All right. Maybe
Okay, it says it's good now.
it's okay.
Okay.
All right. Sorry.
You were just kind of doing the.
Well, that's how I talk.
Okay.
So
My bad. Whoopsie.
thanks for making fun of me.
Well, I guess it'll be trending on Twitter later. Uh,
Yeah, they'll
Kimmie.
go there's that, you know,
That bitch Kimmie.
no, no, don't say that. So, a buddy of mine, uh, he gave me acid. We were doing acid. We were downtown, Toronto on Yonge Street, and this was a long time ago. And all of a sudden, there were all these homeless people, just on the road. A woman, older woman, and I was going into stores buying, tons of food and just
Right.
distributing like I was Mother Teresa. And my buddy was just uh he was like, "Man, you can't be doing that anymore, pal, because you've just blown a couple $100." And I didn't feel bad,
Right.
and I remember seeing there was a preacher, and I see I'm agnostic, but I remember seeing a preacher, and he was on a corner, and he was reading from the Bible, and he was being heckled. And I remember thinking, just let him read, just let him do what he needs to do, and just you don't need to yell and whatever. And he was just telling how people behave, and I remember this. And then that night, I got on this. We had to go on the subway to get home. Anyways, we get on the subway, and he was sitting at the back, and he was crying, just bawling, and he got me crying.
Hmm.
And my buddy was just like you gotta, like, what's wrong with you? He knows. He was like, you're a tough guy, what the hell's wrong with you, man? And he turned away. My buddy couldn't look at me anymore because
Hmm.
he was getting, it was making him upset,
Right.
you know so, and this was a long time ago,
Mhm.
you know so um that's what I worry that I don't I do, with this COVID crap, this thing here has made people, I I I want people to be more, they're not as kind. And when we're doing this interview, we're not yelling. I'm not calling you names. I'm not into that. But when I
Right.
watch other people's videos, they do it on purpose just so they get more views.
Right.
And I just find that you're
It's
just
like everybody wants to watch a train wreck. I mean, they do. It's like, and I don't know. I don't know if we've, you know, like the reality TV stuff is driven that, or if if we just, I don't know, it's no different than when there's a car wreck and people wants to keep rubbernecking and watch it all or something. I don't know what's going on, but
People love drama.
yeah, yeah, they do. They seem to like drama, but hopefully, I mean, I'm hoping that we'll all get to a better place. I mean, it's just something's got to give, you know. It's got,
Yeah,
you know.
I just the when watching what was going on in the States, it was hard for me to watch because every day I just kept going, because I got a buddy out in Florida and he was saying, come on out here. You're more than welcome. And you could play some clubs, and it was very sweet of him to do that. But I I was like, I told him, I go, you know, the 5 clubs that are out there is just not going to be enough for me to get a work visa. Like, for
Mhm.
me to go and work, I wouldn't just work Florida. I need to work several places. I just
Right.
can't, right?
Like
And
cricket.
yeah, like I gotta call up clubs, and then when you call up clubs, it's just like, oh, we're closed, or where or the chances are when you come down, we're probably gonna close.
Right.
Uh, so it was kind of, and you want to get the hell out of the house, because I cannot. I mean, doing tricks and comedy for my kids is just like, they're just like, Dad, you're driving everybody loopy. Like,
Yeah.
and my wife did something right. She's like, stop watching. If you're gonna watch YouTube or any of this stuff, I don't want to hear about, if you put on anything politics or anything about uh a downer, I'm leaving. I don't need to.
Yeah, I can't do, yeah, I can't read the news. I can't watch the news. I'm not going to watch it. I just want to know if it's going to rain tomorrow or not.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
I don't want, you know, I respect, our processes on how things work. I respect that, however anyone voted. I respect however the outcome comes out. I respect our process. There's a reason why we have the process. I may not believe in all the beliefs behind the person, whether coming in or going out, what all everything they did. But I respect the fact that that person was that person in charge. This person is now in charge. I respect that because that's what I'm supposed to do. You know, but because I have some belief systems of, like I want my guns. I am a gun owner. My husband is a gun owner. There's just, I do, I do want people to be treated fairly. I have, it's so, but yeah, I can't, but I cannot, for the love of sweet baby Jesus, watch all the ongoing, just
Oh,
Nitpicking.
nitpicking from either side, of all of it. It's just like, I can't even deal with
Yeah,
it. I
check the
can't.
yeah,
weather, turn it off.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I've got to where I don't even turn it on. I just look on my phone. Okay, I have a weather app. I know whether it's going to rain or not. I don't want to know. I mean,
The kids want to get me a dog, like they want a dog really bad, because they're like, every time I watch anything, I need to go for a walk just to cool off.
Process it.
and
Yeah.
you can't. That's just it. You cannot watch it. You literally, I mean, you can't watch it because first of all, you don't know if what you're watching is going to be
True.
objective enough. Um, and then unfortunately, you can't really read a lot of stuff because you don't know
How
how
manipulated it is.
yeah.
Well, they did a study, and 47% of Americans don't believe in the media.
Yeah,
And I
you can't.
when I read that, I was just like, I was like, that's horrible, because I remember growing up.
Media is
Remember,
where you went to.
the news, you watch the news, and you were like, you believed whatever they would say, and then as you see what's going on, you kind of go, hey man, that's not really what's going on,
Right.
so when that many people don't believe, it's hard. you
Right.
know, and that's why the kids want to get me a dog, because they're like, Dad, you're always walking. Go get a dog. At least you could walk a
Oh,
dog,
well,
you know. And it's just like I'll end up, uh, complaining with the dog. And here's the thing that I told a buddy, and this happened again. You know when you go out with somebody when you're young, and you go to restaurants or whatever, and you complain about everything. You're at that phase. You complain about the service, the sky is too blue, the where we parked cost too
right.
much. I remember talking to the person I was with, and it just dawned on me. I just go, we're not 97 years old, man. Like what the hell? Like stop with the negative. I'm being too. If you're too negative, okay, and if somebody else is feeding you negatively, right? Thanks,
Yeah.
Kimmy. I needed that. If somebody gives too much negative and you're negative, you're both feeding each other. Okay. And what bothers me is, uh, people that, that I thought were friends or whatever, if they see something that I've put up that I like, or I agree with or whatever, these are people I've known for years, all of a sudden don't want to be my buddy.
Yeah.
And that bugs me. I'm like, are you serious, man? Like we're talking earlier about George Carlin, and he gave that great quote where he said, political parties are this. You get a Republican or a Democrat. It doesn't matter, folks. They're in a club and you're not invited.
Yeah. We're not a member. We're not a member.
Okay. So these guys, they fight. Okay. We fight on TV. It's like wrestling. We fight on TV. And then when TV's done, we go to dinner together and
Laugh about.
laugh about, you know what I mean? And I'm like, don't people see this? Like, just like stop. I hear people, family members, stop talking to each other over stupid stuff. And I'm like, really? This is ruining your family?
Right.
This you're making other people affect the way you think, and then you are letting it, you're arguing with your own family.
It goes back to the agree to disagree. You have to learn how to agree to disagree.
You have to learn to just be nice and just say, hey, remember Mr. Rogers? You just say,
Mhm.
hey, have a nice day. I don't agree with you. Take care. We don't
Right.
need. And you know what I do when people are very political or whatever, or I don't agree with them? I just go, listen, dude, let's talk about something else.
Right.
Like let's do something else, because this is going nowhere, and I don't want to fight. I love you,
Right.
right? And let's just whatever. You hate that person, okay, you hate them, but
Yeah.
we're buddies. Let's not let
Right.
that affect us.
Exactly.
And then they all of a sudden they click in and they go, yeah, you're right. Like, but other people, not so much. So anyways, let's talk about happy stuff. There is none. No.
Hold on.
There we go. Whenever it gets boring, Kimmie's going to do a dance and Darrell's going to sit there and go, there we go. There we go. Sorry about that. So you are a very beautiful woman,
Aw.
and you've won multiple awards. Okay. When you do anything you do, you are very driven. Okay. And that is a quality that I I wish I had when I was younger, because people don't understand that, hey man, you got to hustle.
Yeah.
Okay. And you've always had that mentality of, you got to go, you got to, if a door closes, who cares? Let's open up let's
Yeah.
open up this door. If that closes, don't. Where sorry, I get discouraged, I get down, I'm like, I've been, and you're not like that. How have you always been like that? Like, how have you?
I've been working ever since I've what 15ish, 14ish. And I've worked. I've always worked. I've always hustled. I always I call it. I always had my hustle. Um, I don't know. I maybe because my family was hustlers. They worked. And that was just kind of instilled into me. Um, I don't know what I would do if I wasn't working. I'm always doing something. I'm always staying 100% busy. And maybe that helps. Maybe that's helped a lot throughout all this is the fact that I'm always busy, always working. Um, and I don't think people realize how much work is involved. They're learning this last year. I bet a lot of them learned how hard it is to actually, because I think a lot of people took a lot of it for granted that, oh, I don't have to do that much today, or I'm just gonna, especially like with camming, because obviously a lot of people didn't cam before. I mean, we had a lot of people cam, don't get me wrong, but I think there was people who probably didn't utilize the camming as much as they do now during the pandemic, you know, which therefore made people force other people that have been doing it to stay on their hustle, or maybe people didn't use clip stores like they used to before the pandemic, or didn't really work on that hard. Well, now you have to because you can't do other stuff.
I've seen a surge of a bunch of new people, I think, because of COVID, because they're stuck at home and they're trying to find a way to make money.
Yeah, that's
Well, yeah,
true.
you've got mainstream people coming into the OnlyFans pages and stuff like that, and you just I think people are just having to reinvent. They're having to reinvent their hustles too. Like I said, it's made us more creative, I think. But I don't know. I've always worked hard. I've always wanted to find another angle or another this or another that, or I've always done it. I don't
Mhm.
know. I've just always been a hard worker.
That's really cool. Yeah, I know. I know. Um,
Poverty driven. Maybe that's it. I'm poverty driven.
we
I don't
all
want to
are.
be in
We
poverty.
all are poverty driven. God, this background. Look at my head. I look like. Jeez. Look at this.
Honestly, I can't stop thinking about Vince McMahon.
Do I? God, I wish I had his money. You're fired.
Oh my
I
gosh.
nearly got a job at the WWE when it was they changed it. Anyways, WWE.
Right.
I almost got a job as a writer.
Huh.
That would have been interesting.
Yeah, but they weren't into like I wanted her. I wanted to step away. You're trying to. My whole thing was you are making guys that could bench press 500 pounds that are supposed to tear guys apart, and you want them to read Shakespeare. Just give them
In
bullet.
tights.
Yeah, just give them bullet points. Tell them, work with them and work on their strengths. But you're not gonna make the worst thing in the world is seeing somebody. Uh, uh, you could tell that they're just reading their lines. Like I saw a movie with Charlize Theron, and she's incredible. Like I just go, that woman makes you feel like she's saying those lines for the very first time.
Hmm.
And then there's
Like a
other
very organic.
yeah, very yeah. And it just you feel like this is an incredible performance she did. And then she's beautiful. And um there are some actors that you just go, how in the heck did you get the job?
Right.
Because you're clearly just reading the lines,
Right.
so I don't know. I like a movie that just takes me away. uh uh you know uh
And that's
last
what
night
we need. We need movies to take us away sometimes.
I've been watching Godzilla destroy the earth, so I'm like, hey, if COVID doesn't do it, hey, at least Godzilla will. you know
We've been on this new series. We've been watching this series called Alone, and it's where they put survivalists in the middle of nowhere. They put 10 survivalists in the middle of nowhere to see who quits, like who's the last man or woman standing.
you mean Naked and Alone?
No, it's not
Not
Naked
naked
and
and
Afraid.
afraid. Nope.
It's a
It's
same.
close.
It's very similar principles. except they're like extreme survivalists,
They're alone, as in
like,
they don't have no camera
and they
crew.
have to film their own. They film their own stuff, like they every day. It's we found it to be very interesting. So
Yeah,
we had a
I
mutual
like
friend.
anything that takes me out of like you know, my wife's like, you watch some weird stuff. And I'm like, I have to. Like I've been watching I love model trains.
Uh-huh.
So I'll watch. She's like, how can you watch? I mean, these are kids' toys. And I'm like, oh, where'd you go?
Was it that there's a thing on Netflix about the things that made us in the 80s, like the 80s things
Yeah,
that
yeah,
made us,
yeah.
or something like that? That's been real interesting. But no, but alone has been our new thing. What we do is pretty much we find something and then we just binge all the episodes of it. Like that. This is our old lady and old man routine. When we get done with our day, we get our showers, we get in the bed, finish up our social media stuff, and then we turn everything off, and we're like snuggled in bed watching our chosen series or whatever we're doing. And yep, that's us.
Yeah.
The Kabooms,
Yeah, because
living large.
there's not a lot of restaurants because of COVID. There's not a lot of restaurants that we can enjoy, the lobby like we used to. We can't eat at certain
Well,
restaurants, you know.
I remember you would always have these pictures of you in Vegas going to nice, restaurants and, and it was, I thought of you, like during COVID, believe it or not, because I go, that must be killing
Oh
Darrell.
yeah,
Yes.
He enjoys going out and having a meal, meeting people, and you are
yeah.
like, I am very, people go, you know what I screwed up? I usually like doing stand up or anything, doing gigs. I would, as soon as I was done, I would just leave. And the guys would always say, or the girls would always go, "Why don't you just stick around? Why don't you come for drinks with us?" And I'm trying to save every penny. And I'm like, I got a family. I got to get home. I got to get up in the morning. The kids were young. I can't. I can't like hang out and because the best is working with an old friend and just let you have a better laugh than you did on stage working than you did when you're done. You
Mhm.
just have this wonderful time. And I always hated saying, "Hey dude, I gotta go," and they go, "Why? Like where are you going?" And I'm like, "Hey man, it's a long drive, I gotta go." And they and now I want to kick myself in the testicles because I'm like, I should have just to have those memories. So, instead of just having that
Just
long
let you
drive home,
unwind.
yeah,
Honestly.
to have this memory of being with your friends or whatever, or not even your friends, like a coworker that you just hung around because you both speak the same language, and you miss that, and that's
Yes.
what
We miss hanging out with our porn family because we could literally talk about anything and we wouldn't get judged because they've probably already done it or they're about to do it next weekend.
Well, and it's
right.
not that
So,
our non-adult family. It's not that our non-adult family judges us. They're just out of respect for them. Like it goes back to the agree to disagree. We have family that not. It's not that they're against what we do. They're just not in the inner workings of what we do. So obviously the topics are different than what we would be in front of our adult entertainment family. So it's not that they would judge us because I wouldn't have anybody in my circle that would, but it's just a different topics. You just have to pick obviously when you go to grandma's house you don't talk about taking a penis. So
Right.
you change it up a little bit. So it's all just intertwining things a little bit differently.
Yeah. And then you have diabetes.
Yes.
How's that going?
Good.
Like,
It's all good. I'm doing real good. We were. Well, it's been what a few couple 2 3 years now. 2 years, a good solid 2 years. It's been kind of on the horizon for 3 years, but it really took a a pack about a year and a half ago. It was like the doctor was like, okay, Kimmie, we need to get this shit under control. So I've changed my eating habits. I walk about, I walk around our neighborhood. I walk about 15,000 steps a day, every day. And I've just done a lot of changes. I've lost quite a bit of weight. I think when I started the journey, I was like at 236, 237. I am at 196 now. So that's, my body's changing. I'm, getting healthier. I'm feeling a lot better. Medications have been changed because of that. So that's good. So it means I'm going in the right direction. So,
You gotta take care of yourself.
yes,
Oh yeah.
at the end of the day, you have to take care of yourself.
Personal health.
I the only good highlight of 2020. I don't talk about my personal life, my family life. As you know, we have children that are grown, and I don't really differentiate on whether they're boys or girls. I just say children. But I do have an additional grandchild this 2020.
Well,
So
congratulations.
thank you. So now I have two grandchildren. Still not sure how I feel about that yet.
That's like
Because
that's
it's kind of a what the fuck, a moment. Because I mean, don't get me wrong, I love them dearly. I love my children dearly, but I just, you know, Jesus, I'm getting old. What the hell? So, but that's the one of the highlights of 2020. I have to say, was that I you know, have another grandchild, and everyone's healthy and been doing good, and you know, um, I'm healthy. Daryl's healthy. Like I said, my health is probably some of the best it's been in probably over a decade. So I'm real grateful for that. It, things are good. I mean, things are bad, but they're good. I mean, it's equal parts.
Making the best out of it.
Yeah, you just make the best out of your situation. That's all you can do.
do you like because I know there's a little girl couple houses down and she has diabetes, but she has this thing on the side that she puts like a
No, I don't do the monitor because it would be a little inconducive for me when I film.
oh yeah, yeah.
So I choose to just prick. I'm a prick.
Yeah.
I'm a pricker. So yeah, I prick. But I'm good. I'm really, really good. Everything looks real good. I haven't. I'm gonna have to get my A1C checked probably another month. But numbers are looking really good. They have been for a while now. So moving in the right direction. I'm real happy with how things are going. So
Good. And when they are they making any adult movies now?
yes, yes, there are companies making them. There are people making
Not
them.
as many.
Not, I don't think not as many. I don't think it's as prominent. I mean, obviously, it's not as it was before COVID, but yeah, they're still doing it. Uh, I just for me, I'm kind of taking a step. Not I'm not saying taking a step back. I just have to really know who it's going to be with. You know what I'm saying, before I go. Okay, you got me. But I'm really glad to be focusing on my stuff. My stuff is doing really well. I'm really happy with that, and I'm grateful for companies. Don't get me wrong. I am very grateful for doing company shoots, but my company's doing okay too.
Good.
So I like that. So again, I do miss the travel and getting to go places and doing different things and mix it up. But you just adapt. You adapt, you overcome, you move forward. So, and that's what we're doing. We're doing that. And, Daryl's still filming for his website. And his is a lot of his stuff is being done remotely. So he, and, with his is, it's a Slut Wife Confessions. And he, basically naughty stories from them naughty girls. And it's an excellent concept, and he's got girls of all shapes and sizes and colors, and he's so diverse.
Because somebody will love them.
He's so diverse.
Yeah.
But
Cancel
ethnicity,
culture can't
everything.
call you up. They can't cancel culture can't call you up. Go Darrell. You just go no.
No, no, no.
I've
Yeah,
got it covered.
yeah, he does. He really does, and he's really it's really been pretty cool to see his site grow like it has been, and yeah, and I like it because um,
Work with some of
I
the
get to
girls.
copulate. I get to copulate with some of the girls. It's so hard being PG. I'm getting to copulate with all
You know,
of
these
these.
are words that you normally wouldn't copulate, which
Hold on. Let me flip through my dictionary.
Well, it's like they'll get done shooting for me and everything or whatever when we were at conventions, and then they'd be like, "Hey, I want to work with Kimmie." Okay, let me set up different cameras and everything.
Actually,
and
that's not how the story
we'll
happened.
continue.
Let me just tell you, Vito. Let me give you the scoop on how this played out, okay?
Oh my
Because
God.
my husband is not telling the truth. I believe in working smarter, not harder. So, when we were going to AVN last year, we were going for 2 weeks, and Darrell was setting up his schedule for his shoots to launch his website and get his girls. And I'm like, all right. So he's, I know how much time we have in between what this, that, and the other. And he's like, okay, we're going to get 2 hours in between each, whatever. I'm like, okay. And so he's getting all his girls together. He's like, well, who do you have, who do you have lined up? And I'm like, well, let me see your list. So he gives me his list of all his girls. Well, I contact all the girls on the list. I said, yeah, I'll shoot them after you get done shooting them. He's like,
I did all the legwork.
I chased these girls down. I DM'd them. I emailed them. I went through all this, and you're just going to mooch off what I've done? I'm like, hey, they're already there. They're already half dressed. I mean, I'm just swooping in and getting mine, okay? And that's how it happened,
I know
And it worked out
exactly.
beautifully that way.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It just worked out beautifully.
That's really cool. I just wonder how, because on movie sets, I don't know how they do it. Like, if you're only allowed, I think 11 people or something on a set. I don't know.
We don't have that many. This is not like now, it's not like all the porn sets I have worked on is nothing like. I've also worked on major motion pictures as well. I was in a couple of like regular movies as extras, and the ones I have done, those have had like lots of people, a lot of crew. But as far as the adult industry, it's just there's never been more than like maybe 5 or 6 people, including hair and makeup.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. I don't know how the movie industry gets around. Like, if they're over here, I think. What's that?
Maybe waivers.
No, you can't
Give
waiver
waivers.
this.
No, I don't know.
Because over here, they were told you could only have 11 people on a movie, and I'm like, okay, well that's kind of hard, but okay. I
The
don't
only
know.
thing I could think of is that they would have like the hair and makeup trailer would be off to one set area. Then you're like taken to another set area. I mean, there's ways around that system, I'm sure, where there's like, this is this area. Because I know for me, when I was doing the last movie I did was Arkansas by Clark Duke. He directed that. And
You were in Arkansas?
Oh,
Yeah.
in the movie, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just extra roles. You'll miss me.
You can see her in the trailer.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you
I was.
see the movie.
Yeah, you blink, you're gonna miss me. Okay, so just say it. But because I got that offer when I was coming back from New Jersey the year before, and they're like, "Hey, you want to sell Vince Vaughn some drugs?" And I'm like,
Sure.
"Fuck yeah," And come to find out, it was Liam's Helmsworth was who I was in my scene with. So, and I didn't speak to him. I mean, I'm not trying to blow it up any more than it was because it was not any more than that. Okay. I literally took an ice chest of drugs off the back of a tailgate and put them into the warehouse. I don't want to blow it up too much, but I was really cool. It was really cool to be in the trailer though. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, what?
That's
Okay.
great.
But anyway, Clark Duke was really awesome. But that day, the only people that was there that day was obviously the 2 camera people, Clark Duke, Lim Helmsworth, myself, and the PA that was in the warehouse with me waiting for my cue. I mean, and it was just boom, boom, boom. Do it. We took about maybe 5 takes, and that was about it. We're done. So
That's awesome.
just to get a few different angles, and we're good.
Now,
So
when do you think this? When do you think things are going to go back to? You know what? I don't like the whole where they say this is the new normal, and I just don't. I I
I would love to be optimistic and go, oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be grand. I don't know.
yeah.
I'm very worried about that because I I'm very concerned about the vaccine because
Yeah.
this is how I look at things. I know that there are things they want us to know, and then there's things they don't want us to know, and then and then there's the things that they want us to want to know. Like so, I just feel like most vaccines have to have a clinical trial, and they have to be like almost a decade. I think 7 years, 8 years worth of clinical studies, and blah 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 and blah blah blah. And I'm thinking, one, I know we haven't had time to do 7 years worth of studies, okay? Or two, did we already know about this and we already had the vaccine and you're just now giving it to us? So, I mean, I'm not trying to be a conspiracy
No, I know.
theorist, but I am,
I know what you mean. You
It
get
makes you wonder.
it make yeah, exactly. It
because
kind
I'm
of
like,
it
hmm.
kind of it kind of but to me is it kind of where the like where scientists from all over the world like said, you know what, we like put everything, like work our asses off on this, like just like Denmark, Russia, whatever, all of them, the United States,
The
Canada.
dream team of COVID vaccine makers. I
Yeah,
get it. But still, even with that, where's the whole FDA? You have to have clinical trials. Like, where does that come in at? Or, and then let's throw this out there. What about that cancer cure? We were able to,
We were able to cure
we were able
COVID
to
in a
cure
matter of
COVID.
short time, but we still can't cure cancer.
I mean, then again, I mean, it's like I don't want to get too much on a political horse here because I'm just thinking, I don't want to, I got to
no,
keep
I
my
understand what you're saying.
soapbox under the desk here because I don't want to
I
get on my
see it.
soapbox.
I say it all the time. I go,
But it's all, yeah, these
they put.
manufacturers, it's all about money. It's money.
I'm like they put. I always get confused with how the heck did they put two men on the moon? What was it? 1960,
Competitively on the moon.
1969? Was it 1969?
I think it was 69. Neil
19,
Armstrong.
yeah, 1969. So 51 years ago, right?
Mm.
They put, I mean, if you think about how incredibly, I mean, the states blew what would be equivalent, like it was like an incredible amount of money to,
Especially back then compared
yeah,
to,
but
yeah.
back then, but they wanted to go to the moon, and they did it several times. They put people on the moon, which you think about how incredibly uh crazy that is to do that. So uh and then
Yeah, I'm not
now
saying the vaccine won't work. I mean, I'm not a medical professional. I
well,
do not know.
they're giving it to, I guess, first line people, right? Because we had
Yes.
yesterday here, there was really sad. I don't want to be a downer, but it's reality. 19-year-old passed away from it, from COVID, and he was a cleaner at a old, the old folks home,
Mm.
like where he would go in and clean. And they said he caught it. He must have caught it there. Again, he's just a kid. He's only 19. It's heartbreaking, but that's terrifying.
I don't know. I just I'm not above. I'm not just. It just makes me nervous. It makes me nervous that, and then are we going to be forced to take the vaccine? You know, and then there's just I have lots of questions. Like we're going to be forced to take this vaccine. Am I going to have vaccine in order to travel? Which I've already heard even though I don't like watching the news or reading the news, I've read a few articles on the vaccine and the fact that they're implementing the flying. You're going to have a vaccine card saying that you have the vaccine. I don't know how I feel about it because I just
Control.
I don't know how I feel about it because I just don't. Well, my thing is not the control part. My thing is the fact that did we do clinical studies on this? And if we've done the clinical studies, then why are we just now introducing it?
Yeah, I just don't want anything where, because I remember,
I don't want to be a part of a action lawsuit, 6 months from now or a year from now because I'm
yeah,
growing
like
an extra ear.
you
I
always
mean, you know,
you always hear, like, you see commercials going, "Hey, if you took this and
no,
took this drug in 19 whatever,
And you
uh
have anal leakage.
yeah,
yeah,
Please
well,
call us.
call our lawyers and we'll make sure to get you money." And and you don't want that. And
no,
I really hope it's not anything like that. I hope it's just, I don't want it to be this thing where, remember when they gave a certain drug to women in, what was it, the 70s, and a lot of their, when they had children, their children would have Down syndrome.
yes, birth defects.
Yeah. So that's my concern. Like how, like, I just want to make sure that it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
That that's all.
That's how I feel about it. I want to see the data. I want to see the information. I want to see the chemical breakdown. I want to see what I'm putting in my body. And to know that it's going to do what it's supposed to do. I want to know that I don't have that concern.
And
You
you
know,
know what they're doing? They're doing, where they're having like a doctor, or like a VP or a president or whatever, take take the needle, right? They give the needle to them, and but you have people saying, how do you know that's the vaccine? If it's
right?
how do you, like, you know what I mean? That's
And
where we're at as a society, where we don't even trust. That is terrifying.
How do you
But
know it's not something else and they're just telling us it's a vaccine?
yeah,
yeah,
that's what I mean. Like, where you're going,
Population control.
it's like, yeah, this is the stuff. The person will now, we're going to inject it in the president, it'll be fine. And it could be banana juice for all we know, you know. So
and
that's,
it's not that I want to doubt my government. It's not that I just want to be eyes wide open. I don't want a 1984 experiment going on. I want to know that that it is what it is. And that's all.
yeah.
I guess I just want more information on it.
I
I'm
want
not
this
saying no,
I
I'm
want
not going to take it. I just want more information.
this shit to go away. you
Right.
know I want this shit to never have even started. And I know,
The crazy thing when this all started, though, I mean, I have to say, and it's none of this is funny, but to me, I guess the whole we just need to wash your hands, and I'm like, how many nasty MFers do we have out there that didn't wash their effing hands? Like it was like the common sense stuff. Well, you just need to make sure you wash your hands and
Don't breathe on people.
social distancing. And I'm thinking, well, I think people should be kind of social distancing anyway. I mean, maybe not 6 feet, but an ample amount away from me. It's cool. I am a hugger too. Again, the South. But I get it. But but the whole wash your hands thing just kept everybody. They kept saying, wash your hands, wash your hands. I'm like,
you,
no crap. Wash your
yeah,
hands. Of course, you should be washing your freaking hands anyway.
yeah, but most people just, yeah, I mean, I've seen,
I know, and I'm not gonna say this is gonna be the norm, but I do think from here on out
Things will be a lot
that there's
different.
gonna be like a PPE type scenario for here on out. I think that overseas they've had personal protection equipment or mask or whatever for years, decades, in highly populated areas. So I would not be surprised if this is going to be the new thing where masks are going to be a requirement for a while. You know, I wouldn't be surprised.
I really hope not, because that is just I
It's such
don't
a pain in the ass.
it's not it's not even that. It's just you feel like the air is toxic. Um, I love going to museums or whatever, and just I don't want to walk around. Like I understand you by law you have to,
Mhm.
and you don't want to get sick, but I mean,
My whole thing was I do think it should be a choice to wear them.
no, yeah, but have you seen people that don't wear them and then other people freak out on them?
Right.
I've
And
seen.
that's the part. That's the sad part is that and don't get me wrong. I don't want to get anyone sick. I'm not saying that. I do know people have compromise. I do know personally people who have compromised immune systems. It's not that I want them to be sick or I want to get them sick, but I do think it is I don't know. I think we need to find a better I don't know a better way maybe.
We've been at we've had dinner recently, and we were at the table eating in a restaurant, and 6 feet distance like normal, like we're supposed to. She coughed, and I noticed the people at the other counter, at the other table, were kind of looking like, just
Yeah,
looking,
it's terrifying.
because
I
she
know.
coughed, and I'm
I
thinking
know.
like, she don't
And I
have
coughed
COVID,
because I had a piece of rice went in my windpipe, and I was trying to cough it,
but
like
that's not
clear.
probably
I
not
was
what
trying to
they're thinking.
clear my windpipe.
But
Yeah, but that's
I
where
was like, calm down, don't beat me.
that's where we're at.
Yeah,
yes,
Where before, like a year and a half ago, if you did that, it would just be like nobody would even look at you.
no, or if you
right.
sneeze and be like, okay, bless
Yeah.
you.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
now it's just like cough and everybody like hides under the table. Or, it's just I don't I really have a hard time with this crap. So, um I just hope that this goes away, and
Well,
we
When you
we have toilet paper, we have wine.
when you
It's
do your comedy shows, do you have to wear a mask when you're up on stage?
no, it's just Darrell. I had a guy told me to go to Toronto because he said, "Hey, man, we're doing, it's a show," and I go, "Great," and it's going to be one of these like where people could see you, like they pay to watch you from their computers.
Okay, streaming.
Yeah, streaming. So see, I'm not very technical, but I remember watching a couple of his shows, and I'm looking at it and I go, there's only 9 people watching this, you know? Like to me, it's live, it's different.
but
You're
how do you get the interaction? Because
there's no
I would think you
interaction.
would
There
feed off that
there
interaction of
there's
the
there's
crowd.
see the only way I could get going is if people are laughing, right? So then it just kind of gets you in a great mood.
I mean, I'm
So,
not by no means am I a comedian of your stature, but
oh
How
yeah,
do you pick on
the couple
somebody?
dude.
times I've done it, the couple times I've done stand up, I've liked that little interaction of
Yeah, but
to me.
when you have, what I'm used to, how my secret is, my secret is when I go up there, I pick somebody with a good smile. I look at them and I kind of start off just doing the show with them,
Right.
right? Just to get in that mental state,
Mhm.
just to whatever. It just
First gear, and then you
yeah,
move into
just
second gear,
put it
then
into
you're
gear,
good.
and then I could move around, but I'll always come back to that person because it just gives me this feeling of I'm talking to you,
Right.
right? And it's a great interaction. So doing these live feeds and seeing that, like where there's only like 9 people watching, and he goes, no, everything's cool, everything's safe, and I go, all right, and I went out there, and the stage, you don't have to wear a mask, but the stage had like you had to do it behind plexiglass around you. And I'm like, hey
If you're
man,
streaming,
hey,
why?
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I'm not in a fish tank. Okay. I go, I can't do this.
I think I
Yeah.
would just start doing my little gills, and I would totally play with it.
I freaked, Kimmy. I
Right.
just said, hey man, not for me. The
So,
other,
are you uploading your comedy bits?
yeah, but how am I uploading shows that I haven't done? Usually you don't want to upload everything, right? You don't want
So
to.
why don't you do this? Suggestion, of course, just a suggestion. Why don't you get you a loyal fans page? It's almost like a Patreon type account, and people can subscribe to you, and you can actually do. You can do several things. You can actually pre-record some comedy bits, like so
And it's uncensored.
small videos, uncensored, and then you can also go live on that page for your subscribers and do
Right.
a comedy bit. I know you won't get the same vibe type thing,
It's
obviously, like in
YouTube, it's
live,
uncensored.
but at least you can. It's very uncensored. You don't have. You're not. You can say. You can drop words I can't say on here, and but so and it's a revenue stream.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I've seen people do that, and unless you're a big name, you're gonna get a lot of, you're gonna make, like, I know one guy, uh, who's a comedy magician, and he's, he said, forget it, man. I'm not making any money. I'm not getting any gigs. I used to play the cruises and make 120 grand just playing the cruises.
Hmm.
And now that's gone. So he's like, I'm going to go to school and get my electrician. He's about, I think, 10 years younger than me. So he goes, I'm just going to become an electrician. Right. And I go, okay. And then when I talked to him a little while ago, he goes, yeah, Vito, I did a show, a corporate. And I go, you did a corporate? No way. Cause they pay well. And he goes, they paid me, like, you know, $1,000 to do a show for them, like how I would, like, if you were like watching right now, I would do a show for you. And I go, well, how was it? And he goes, I had to change my whole act around because, like you, I like to bring people up, and I can't do that. And um he just said, hey man, um I needed the money,
Hmm.
and that's the way it is. But
Hmm.
here's the thing, Kimmy.
So do
He
you think he
has,
devalued his talent?
pardon?
Do you think he devalued his talent by doing this?
No, I think you got to do anything to make coinage, right?
Right.
Like, I love doing stand up, so it's very hard for me not to uh have that, being doing stand up. I think most stand ups are, uh we see, I pretend I don't like the reaction because that's the way I present myself, but inside I'm gushing,
Hmm.
right?
Well, the other thing with the loyal fans page I was telling you about is that you can also promote doing a show, and you can do a tip count, like a count, like a donation calculator. So you have to, like, say you're going to charge $1 a show admission. You get $50. That's $50, and you go on for an hour. I know it's
An
not
hour.
what you. I know it's not what you make. I know. I'm just saying.
No, but I
I'm just
know,
using it as an example.
I know what you're saying, and I
I'm a
appreciate it.
hustler, man. I'm giving you a fucking hustle.
No, I appreciate it, but it's just, I'm not a techie guy, and you need, like, the guy I was talking about. He's been on television. Like, he's got that, like, he's been
I'm
on.
sorry. I think you would do great. I just think you would do
I
great.
appreciate it, but I'm not
I
a.
would retweet it if you did it. Just saying.
I appreciate it, but I don't have the technical skill. Like, the guy that I deal with that is a very techie guy. He lives 40 minutes away, and he's got small children or whatever, and he's scared. He's like, Vito, I'll help
We
you.
will have to talk.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate it. But he's like, I'm gonna help you or whatever, but after this is
Right.
done. And I'm like, dude, I'm starving. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I
Like you
want to,
can't wait.
yeah, like, I've got all these things that I want to do, and I gotta wait for other people because I'm not a technical person. And the guy that I was talking, like, about, his name is Matt. He's very funny, not as funny as me, but he he's got an agent that goes after like GM or Ford or any of these companies and just says, listen, I got a guy that's been on Penn and Teller Fool Us that did very well, and he's done TV spots and blah, blah, blah. Would you like him to play your corporate? That's how it works. So, like, Ford will sit there and go, okay, we'll give you 5,000 for, can he do 45 minutes? Yes, of course he can. Okay, so he does his act from his home for like the people that work for Ford that
Right.
go on a Zoom call, and they could watch him perform. And he tells me, he goes, it's very odd, to be honest with you, it's very odd. But he says, hey, when I got my $5,000 check, it's not that bad,
Hmm.
and I get it. Money, well, what's the old saying? In the entertainment world, you know, I'm going to screw up the saying. I don't want to swear, but anyway, it's like, why'd you do it? As we say in the entertainment world, we really need the money.
Right.
So it's just I get that. You know, uh, hey man, that's great that you got that, but I've seen guys that are very talented, Kimmy, that they will do these shows, and what happens is they flooded the market. So they're like, hey, I got a comedy show, I got a show, I got a show. And it's like, okay, you and every other comic I know
Mhm.
has this show. The only people that are making money, like you sit there and go, hey, look, Chappelle's making a fortune. I'm like, yeah, man, Dave Chappelle he's been famous for a very long time, and he's got a following.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm not trying to put myself down, but there's no way. It's like night and day, you
Right.
know. But I appreciate it, but that's why I want this crap to go away, because it was getting to the point where I was getting theaters and having a blast playing theaters.
Yeah, you probably do a lot of universities and colleges and stuff.
Well, you can't do colleges anymore because they're very
What about a drive-in theater? You stand on
Oh,
stage.
oh yeah. When this first started, I said, you know what? You know what would make a killing right now during COVID? A drive-in theater.
no. You know what they do? They heckle you by honking the horn. They will find assholes will find a way to screw with
Well, no,
you.
but seriously though, when this all started, I was like, you know what? If they're any drive-in theaters left, they're making a killing right now.
Oh
I'm like,
yeah.
and you know what? I told him, I said, we should do that. I said, have a drive-in theater, have the concession stand, but have it where you order your stuff by app. They bring it to you. Boom. I'm making money right now. Okay, I'm
Oh, I
thinking.
thought I thought, because this is what they were doing here. They were doing drive-in theaters, but you watch a comedy show.
That's what
So
I'm saying.
the comic goes up on a stand,
Mhm.
and I'm because I when I talked to this other comic about it, I go, how did the drive-in theater go? And he goes, it was a nightmare. And I go, what happened? He goes, well, first of all, people just honk, right? And then if they're happy, like, they flash their lights into your eyes, right?
So the bad acid trip.
I swear to God, Darrell, you could make a movie. This would be like you could call this movie "This Sucks." Okay, that's the title of the movie. This sucks. So they flash the lights, which completely blind you, and then
Strobe lights.
yeah, and then they put if they're happy with a bit, they put their windshield wipers on. But here's the thing: when they do that, they smudge up so they can't see. So all you hear up there is zzz, zzz. They're cleaning their windows, right? So this is like, it's surreal. It's absolutely surreal. So comedy, theater, any live performance has really just been decimated by this. So this isn't about me. So, anyways, what is your plan for? You said you were gonna get surgery, like when's that going to happen?
I don't know yet. I'm not really. I don't. I'm not really talking about. I don't know. I haven't decided. Let's just leave it at that. I don't know. I'm gonna kind of wait and see how much weight ends up like where I plateau at, and then go from there.
Okay.
And then whenever it happens, I'll hey, by the way, I'm gonna do this. So I'm just gonna wait and see. I don't want it's nothing I want. Obviously, I haven't rushed into it. And I'll when it happens, I'll of course let everybody know on all my respective sites. And I've been kind of video diary, vlogging recordings of my journeys and with all this. And just kind of that way I can put it all out there because I'm sure that, there'll be people like, oh, no, or yes, or whatever. I'm sure that whatever my life decisions are, I'm sure there'll be naysayers and there'll be woohoos,
Hey
so,
man, you do
and,
whatever. I tell everybody you got one life. Just do whatever.
oh,
Uh,
I don't, oh, yeah, yeah.
don't
Uh,
don't.
zero to give. I don't
Yeah,
care.
just as long as you're healthy and okay, don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's how I feel about it too. It's
So
good.
what are your plans for what would a day entail? Like just say this is Monday and your calendar is full. What would you be doing?
Monday morning, me and Daryl always get together on what our prospective week's going to be look like. We always do like a Monday business meeting. We touch on all aspects of Kimmie Kaboom, the website, da da da. This is what we're doing this week. This is what update's going to be this week. And then on the post production side, he makes sure that video that update is ready for me for that week. Um, and then I move in, he moves into his companies, I move into mine. I do, my social media. I set up my social medias for the day. I set up my updates for the day. I check my messages, my emails, and I have lots of platforms. So that consumes a couple hours of my day just in checking the messages on my social medias and my OnlyFans, my Avian Stars, my website, all that. That takes a couple hours. Then I check my emails, and then I have 3 email accounts that I have to check into. I do all that, and then whatever last week's update for my website then goes into all of my clip store platforms. So then we start initiating that, and then I just kind of uh, roll over if anything just rolls over into Tuesday. I do that then, but also in between all that, I take phone calls and text messages, and I do cam shows, prepaid cam shows. And if I have any custom video request, we go ahead and discuss that on the Monday meeting and get that lined up for the end of the week.
Like what she's
Wow.
gonna wear, do.
So that's Monday. So, and then Tuesday, like the rest of every day, 7 day, I work 7 days a week. So every day is pretty much the same standard as far as less the meeting on Monday. It's pretty much I have to check all my social media messages. I have to check my emails, like pretty much that's pretty much every day. So and I try, obviously, Twitter and Instagram. I don't really do Instagram messaging because to me, I don't have time for that. It's not a paying type thing for me. But my social media, as far as Twitter and stuff like that's I don't really check those messages until hey, do I have time to check these messages? Okay, I'll check them because I like to take care of people who are paying to be on my website or paying to be on my OnlyFans or paying to be on one of my platforms. And I like to give them that one-on-one, hey, it's good to talk to you. Thank you very much. And blah, 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 because they are paying for my time.
Right.
So that's part of the perk of being a member or a subscriber to one of my platforms. So,
That's very cool. I wake up, I have Fruit Loops, then I'll have a little more, and then I'll go on YouTube, watch a couple of Leaf games that I missed, and Gonna have a nap. Then I have some more Fruit Loops. I'm talking about the cereal, by the way. Get that out of your head. All right.
Hey.
And then me and the boy will watch, I don't know, some cartoons. And then
You can't be sad if you watch cartoons. You know that?
well, it depends. SpongeBob the other day, he lost Gary the snail, and I was having a panic attack, like wondering, is he ever going to get Gary back? So,
Thanks, Vito. I used to always say you just always be happy when you watch cartoons. Okay?
yes, well, he did find Gary. He sang this beautiful song, and then what else? Then I forget because then my wife's like, "Have you made dinner?" And then I'm like, "Ooh," and then it's just there we go, and then that's about it. So talk to a couple buddies, and that's about it. You know, do some. I've been doing some shows. I'm gonna do a. I talked to this really nice guy. He's a hillbilly. We're gonna do a show about. I love mysteries, so we're gonna do a show on cryptozoology. If you don't know what that is, that's about a Loch Ness monster, Bigfoot, and I don't necessarily believe in all that, but I just like to. I think if you lose the mystery of life, if you lose stuff, you just what's the point, right? So it's good to have a mystery, right?
I saw a person that had a T-shirt on that had a Sasquatch on it, and it said "Hide and Seek Ultimate Winner."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. He is the world's champion of the hide and seek. But I love stuff like that, and then I'm just just doing interview people. But it's really weird. I got to interview this one person that I'm not going to say who it is, but you ever line something up and then you realize that this person's a goof? Like
Possibly.
well,
I will not confirm nor deny that.
I'm just saying that this he or she
You have a WTF moment, like
What was
yeah
I thinking?
well I'll tell you later. He or she is just a I've watched videos because I like to know who I'm talking to or whatever. I watch plenty of yours, so I know exactly what to ask. But um, when you watch stuff, you're kind of going, "Ooh, that's not good," you know. So again, I don't want the interview to go sideways. You just want it to be fun, and I don't want to argue or anything like that. But it's one of those things where you just go, why am I nervous? I shouldn't be nervous. But you lined it up. They said yes, and you're going, oh God, you're going to hear it from other people now, and I don't care. So that's what I've been doing. Just trying to do this. Uh, just chatting, having fun. I think that's the whole thing. Everybody's out there doing their own thing, and I like to do mine. I like to talk to people and find out how they're doing, and
yeah.
I think that's important. I think if you lose curiosity in anything, what's the point?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
All right, listen, it's been a blast. I'm gonna put a link up of your Twitter account, okay?
Mhm.
And I
So
really
before you go, don't forget. Before you go, I was gonna do my whole thingy.
you were in a show off your
Yeah. You ready?
I don't know if we could. No
Oh, come
way, you're not.
on. Zoom needs some excitement. Okay.
Are you serious?
3, 2,
Kimmie,
1.
you can't be
Yes,
serious.
I am. I'm going to totally.
Oh my god.
You ready? Are you
I
ready
don't know.
now?
This video might be taken down.
It won't.
Oh, okay, all right.
You'll
Just
never know. Isn't that the new TikTok thing?
well,
You'll never know.
3 people will watch this. So well, no, maybe
All right.
we'll get like 15. All
Okay.
right. Well, okay. Just
Okay. Ready?
okay.
1.
Are you, Kimmie? 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 Son of a